I'm Kent Mulgat with KelownaNow, joined by Gail Temple from Westcorp, the people behind this proposed downtown hotel. 32 stories, 130 meters in height.
Yes.
This is a big change for Kelowna. How do you feel about it now that it seems to be close to happening?
It is a big change. I personally have been working on this for over a decade because I've been with Westcorp for 11 years, and it's been really exciting. I mean, there was disappointment when CD21 that would have, been a master plan for a lot of the downtown, it didn't materialize. And then we, of course, have gone on our path since then. But this particular site is such an honor to work on, actually, because it's the last, and I don't know if people really realize this, but when you look at the waterfront of Kelowna, it is the last undeveloped piece that feels like it's kind of waterfront. It's behind Kerry Park, I get that, but it is the last pivotal piece. There'll never be any significant development close to the waterfront again unless we started developing in the downtown core, unless we started developing in City Park, which we're not. So what happens on that property, on that site, is really important, and it's part of the reason why Phil, my boss, has felt such a tremendous responsibility to get it right. And when we didn't think that we actually had it right with the design that we had approved, designs are very interesting things. It's a push me, pull you. It's a how do you put all the things that you need in there, and at the same time you're respecting the city's parameters on height or floor plate size or whatever. And then there's the issue of the water table being that high in that area of the city. And we ended up worrying so much about height and the parameters that we had in the first go around that, to put it bluntly, we got a project approved that was not going to deliver on the vision that we hoped that it would. First and foremost, this project is about a hotel. And we had, I don't know, some 200 stalls, 242 stalls above ground.
Parking.
So essentially, you've wrapped a hotel around a parkade, which is very, very difficult. And we started to realize that the floor-to-floor heights were not really luxurious, and we didn't have a large enough elevator core because we tried to keep our tower just so small. We had compromised because of height. We had compromised the heights that we should have had. And the hotel uses were not going to function very well inside.
So that's when you actually...
So we took a step back and said, boy, if we're going to do something here, you do not spend millions of dollars and put a building up for the next 50 years or whatever that is not going to deliver on the promise that you have said that you're going to deliver. Right. And so we stepped back and we started looking at the ways that we could fix the challenges that we had. And that absolutely included an investigation of how we could go underground.
Right.
And stop making a parkade the big thing.
Without getting into the science of it too much, you are able to go underground. It sounds like that would be, difficult, but it is doable.
It is very doable. They've been doing it in Richmond. The method that we are going to use has never been used in Kelowna before, but they do it in Richmond repeatedly, and it does not involve a lot of dewatering around the site or anything, and we will successfully go 2 floors underground with parking.
Right, so let's assume that when this goes back before council later this month, that it goes ahead, gets built. How is it going to feel now? Because it's beautiful walking down Bernard and getting to the sales and that center point the way it is now. How do you think it's going to feel? How is it going to sort of interface with downtown?
Well, one of the things that was so great, it was a happenstance introduction for us to GCA. I actually had the pleasure of going to New York. GCA are the architects out of Barcelona, Spain.
Okay.
Not well known here, of course, in North America, but they've done 180 luxury hotels worldwide. And Anthony Von Mandel actually put us onto them. And
from Mission Hill.
Mm-hmm. So we started, right. So we thought, wow, wouldn't it be amazing to get people involved that would see our city from an international vantage point with a fresh set of eyes. And who had so much experience building incredible hotels. So I actually went to New York and met Antonio Puig and heard some of his thoughts and saw his portfolio and thought, oh my gosh, wow. So he came here with his partner Lewis, and they are on our team and working with a Canadian firm as well, because of course the Canadian firm has to sign off on everything. But what they have done, the architecture that they have done is beautiful. They have been able to, because with their help, we, designed a hotel that had parking underground. The tower got to pull away from Carey Park, and it got to have all these large terraces. They built an outstanding, or have designed an outstanding conference center. We are so proud of what they have come up with. The notion of the 17th floor restaurant is entirely theirs. They have done that a number of times in other structures in the world. And they've brought a flair and a global perspective to this process, or to this project, that we just think, wow. So we know that site was always noted in cities in policy. It's a landmark site. And what they are proposing is a landmark building. And over time, when more tall buildings exist in our downtown core, which of course we hope they do over time, one of the things, and the reason I say that...
Let me stop there, because the one thing that I find maybe a little problematic at first is that it is a beautiful building if it's built as designed.
Yes.
But yet it stands all by itself there in the downtown. It looks like it needs a few friends, in the tall building.
It does, but you know what? There are two aspects of that are absolutely gifts, though. One of those is that to the north, it's the Civic District. So there'll never be any more towers, over toward Cactus Club, Stewart Park. So that'll always be open and low.
Okay.
And then on the other side, you've got Bernard. So we don't really impact anyone with, say, shadow or anything like that where we are. And there won't be any towers again until the Lawrence Leon area. And those will actually feel closer to the water. If you're walking down Stewart Park, they actually, just because of where Abbott Street is, they will feel closer to the bridge and the water than we are. But there will be height on Ellis Street. It's planned in the downtown plan. There will be height on Lawrence and Leon. There's a couple of towers being planned for the bargain site. Ella's already approved.
Right.
We are a decision today for tomorrow. We are making a decision today for a context that will exist in a number of years, probably sooner than we imagine. And what I was going to say, I guess, a little bit about height, and it'll be wonderful when we start to see those kind of developments, which we hope we are a catalyst for in the Lawrence and Leon corridor, because that shows concentration of people. And right now, our concentration of people, our height, is going north.
Yeah.
And what that will do is it will pull services with it, because of course that's where the pubs will go. They'll want to be where the people are, and we certainly don't want that to happen to our downtown core. So as time goes on and more buildings occur here and there's lots of people living, it will be fantastic. That site, though, we think is more appropriate for a public kind of venue.
Yeah.
People come to conferences. You and I, we go to galas, we go to luncheons. We use our hotels in this city as much, if not more, than other people do. And there'll be a much more public kind of use of a hotel versus putting a condo on that site.
You had a little show and tell with the public. Did you get a sense of how people are reacting to how the plans look?
We did. We sent out about 2,700 flyers and put it in the newspaper. We only had about 100 people come. We had about 250 last time around. But this time, people
are getting used to it.
Well, they're getting used to the notion, I guess, that we want to build a hotel, but not one negative comment.
You didn't get any negatives?
Zero, none, which was interesting. I thought, wow, that's great.
Yeah.
It's great.
Obviously, some people aren't going to like it, and they're probably not going to like the next, 4 years to build it? How difficult is it going to be for this important part of town to have this construction project going on and on?
It'll be a very careful process, that's for sure. If we are approved, and we hope to be heard by council in late February, if we are approved, our expectation is to be building a presentation center on the site this summer and selling off the 40 or so units. And then we will go in the ground, because it takes time now to do the detailed design and construction drawings. If all goes well, we will be in the ground sort of end of the year. We were actually ready to go to council in December, but staff actually called us in and had a request. And the request was actually to move the entire building almost a meter north.
Right.
Yeah, to increase the laneway width, and we totally get that. The wonderful silver lining of that, though, although it slowed us down by 3 months, is they also wanted us to reimagine Queensway and not have it be a standard cul-de-sac city street. And we've designed a street plaza that we have not only designed but will pay for, and will maintain in perpetuity, because it will have really, really nice pavers like you'd see out in the front of the Pac Rim in Vancouver, something like that. And the city doesn't want to be responsible for maintaining something like that, so we will. So the project, even though we got delayed by 3 months, the project is better. But notwithstanding that 3-month delay, we still hope that we can make it into the ground by the end of the year. And then you're right, it is basically a 3-year build. And it'll just have to be very careful and contained on the site.
Right. Now, you're going to need to have a better name than Proposed Downtown Hotel.
We
Something
are.
a little snappier.
Little snappier. Just a little.
And you're telling me there really isn't a name in mind? You
there
must have
is
a name in
not.
mind.
No, we have decided a long time ago what the brand promise of the hotel would be. We did explore a number of names for the hotel, but when we realized that it was also going to, this structure, have people that live there full time, that changes things a little bit. And so we wanted to get our director of real estate on board first, which we have, and because he'll be the big marketing guy for this. And there needs to be a marriage for the owners and the hotel.
Better idea. We'll just let KelownaNow readers pick
Oh,
out a few names.
Absolutely. Perfect.
Gail, it's been great having you. Thanks very much.
Thank you very
Gail
much.
Temple from Westcorp. This is Kent Mulgat for KelownaNow.